Hi, I'm Greg Grandy, and you caught me packing the Enviro-Tacklebox for a trip to the beach. So I'm getting the beach umbrella in there. Gotta have some suntan lotion too. I don't want to fry while catching some rays. It's kind of confusing, really. All these bottles have a different level of SPF, or sun protection factor. This one has a 4, this one has an 8 SPF, and look, this one has a 50 SPF. That must filter out a lot. If you read the bottles, they talk about something called UVA and UVB rays. Those are things in sunlight that can cause early wrinkles, premature aging, even skin cancer, which can kill you. Got your attention? Let's talk. You and me and UV. No matter what you're doing, if the sun is up and you're outside, your body is absorbing UV. It doesn't have to be in summer. The light that falls on you in winter packs UV too. In warmer months, your perspiration can warn you how long you've been out in the sun. But in winter, you need to keep track because your skin certainly is. UV stands for ultraviolet. The sun's light is a spectrum of colors. Maybe you've seen some of them while blowing bubbles. In a rainbow, or as a prism breaks up the light into its parts. You can see all the candy colors, but just below the purple violet, that's where UV hides. See, the sun's light is in the visible portion of the electromagnetic spectrum. There's a large part of the electromagnetic spectrum that we don't see.
In the electromagnetic spectrum,
light travels in waves.
Some waves have so little
or so much energy
you can't see them with your naked eye.
Taken all together, the different wavelengths and frequencies
of the visible and invisible waves
make up the electromagnetic spectrum.
The longest and least energetic waves are radio waves.
A slightly more energetic kind cooks your food.
The increased energy of infrared waves generates the heat you feel from the sun and makes liquid in the thermometer expand and rise.
Then here comes the colors of the rainbow and the range that we humans can see. Now, on the other end of the electromagnetic spectrum, gamma rays have so much energy they can be used to kill cancerous cells.
X-rays are just a little less energetic, but still not so laser that we can see them. We can see what they don't pass through in a doctor's X-ray machine.
So what could be here in the middle of the spectrum? Ultraviolet!
We've all heard of X-ray vision, but what about UV vision? While X-ray vision's reserved for superheroes, UV vision's right here and now, and it's a real part of the insect world. Butterflies, for one, are able to see a wide range of colors, including ultraviolet, which comes in very handy when searching for food or searching for a girlfriend.
Hi, I'm Dr. Noel Ross, a lepidopterist. That is, a scientist who studies butterflies. Butterflies feed on nectars. Nectars are sugary substances produced by flowers. And over the eons of time, flowers have developed elaborate mechanisms, clever ways of luring in butterflies. And these mechanisms usually involve the color. Colors not only that you and I see, like the yellow on this butterweed here, but colors that we cannot see, UV colors. The ultraviolet color is usually on the petals of the flower, and it's arranged in a pattern in order to point to the very specific area that the butterfly should land and insert its proboscis in order to feed on the nectar. These are the so-called ultraviolet nectar guides. Butterflies see ultraviolet not only on flowers, but on themselves as well. For example, these sulfur butterflies here generally have ultraviolet spots that you and I cannot see on their wings. And these spots are used to distinguish males from females. And generally the ultraviolet increases or decreases in intensity depending upon age, so that butterflies can tell each other whether they are young or old, because generally it's the younger butterflies that mate and reproduce. So you see, without UV, butterflies would be very skinny and very lonely.
While we don't see in UV like butterflies, special instruments give us an opportunity to view the sun and other images from nature in UV.
So how does ultraviolet make it to the Earth?
The sun is 93 million miles away, and in order to send you some UV, UV has to first pass through the Earth's sunscreen, a pretty protective ozone layer.
Ozone is really important because it filters out virtually all UVC. UVC is the most dangerous of UV rays.
If UVC ever made it to you, it could possibly damage some of your connective tissues, the tissues that literally hold your body and organs together.
There's a concern among scientists that the Earth's ozone layer is thinning.
Dr. Leo Klasine, a professor of atmospheric chemistry from Croatia, has studied this problem around the world and recently helped shine some light on the whole ozone issue.
Dr. Klasine, what exactly is the ozone layer and why is it so important?
The ozone layer is in the Earth's atmosphere, and it appears in a region which is called the stratosphere, where it's more pronounced between 15 and 20 miles above sea level. It is produced in this region by interaction of UV radiation, by UV from sunlight and oxygen molecules. This UV breaks the bond between the two oxygen atoms which make an oxygen molecule, and such an oxygen atom with another oxygen molecule forms ozone. Ozone is an extremely good absorber of UV radiation. It absorbs all the UVC and most of the UVB radiation which comes from the sun and screens the Earth's surface. To illustrate how good an absorber ozone is for UV radiation is the fact that all the ozone in the Earth's atmosphere, if it would be on the sea level, would amount only to 1/8 of an inch thickness. In recent years, the ozone layer is thinning because the ozone destruction is going faster than ozone production. The rate of the thinning, as it stands now, is about 2 to 3% per decade. Ozone in the stratosphere is affected by solar activity, like sunspots, seasonal variation, then by natural forces like volcano eruptions, and also from material which comes from the cosmos, like meteorites and ice particles. Of man-made sources, the most dangerous for ozone are the CFCs. CFCs are compounds discovered 70 years ago, which found very broad use as fluids in refrigerators and air conditioners, as propellants in spray cans, and as solvents. The CFCs contain chlorine, and this chlorine is released as atoms by interaction with UV radiation in the stratosphere. The chlorine atoms destroy ozone, and the product of this reaction again can destroy ozone, more than 100,000 molecules per chlorine atom.
Despite all their good uses, Dr. Klasine points out that a number of countries have agreed to ban the use of all CFCs. But even if all countries were to stop using CFCs today, residual CFC molecules will continue to cause damage to the ozone layer well into the 21st century.
Now about the UV that passes through the ozone layer that we do get down here. That's UVA and UVB. UVA penetrates your top layer of skin, causing aging, wrinkling, and toughening of your skin. UVB doesn't penetrate as deeply in your skin, but has been known to damage cells and is associated with skin cancer. UV can affect you even when skies are overcast. It's not the heat of the sun that burns you, but the ultraviolet exposure. That doesn't mean you should run from UV. It can also do you good.
For instance, Big D. That's vitamin D. UV stimulates your body's production of vitamin D. In fact, depending upon the season and where you live latitude-wise, you may produce as much vitamin D by being outside for only 15 minutes as you'd get from 2 8-ounce glasses of fortified milk. And vitamin D is very important because it helps your body use calcium and phosphorus to help build strong bones and teeth. So while ultraviolet radiation has the potential to do damage to your body, it also helps you generate vitamin D to build it up.
So how do you protect yourself from photo damage? We're not talking about damage to a photograph. Photo damage refers to photons from UV radiation damaging cells in your skin, eyes, and body.
How do you protect yourself? Well, for one thing, you could avoid this. Research has shown that people who sunbathed a lot in their early years were more likely to get skin cancer once they entered their 40s. And when you choose sunblock, know your own needs.
I can lie out every day, and by the end of the summer, I'm brown as a coconut.
I don't tan, I just freckle, blister, and peel.
I get burned if I'm out way too long in the sun.
I try not to tan. My friend's mom did when she was young, and now her skin looks like leather.
Your skin coloring can slow UV damage from overexposure, but you can still suffer damage if you're not careful.
Some people don't discover until late in the day, when it starts to burn, that their body caught too much ultraviolet exposure. Remember that farmers often suffer photo damage after their long hours in the field. Their sleeve lines or necklines sometimes take heavy exposure.
I wear the same socks to soccer practice so often that I have a tan line. But how can I tell if it's something I should worry about?
Dr. Edward Parry, a dermatologist, deals daily with skin conditions brought upon by UV. He can provide answers to these types of questions and dispel many myths about suntans.
My name's Ed Parry, and I'm a dermatologist, which dermatologists study diseases of the skin. And my subspecialty within dermatology is Mohs surgery, which is a type of skin cancer surgery. When patients come to see me, what I'm primarily concerned about is skin cancer. So I'm looking for problems that they have related to excess solar elastosis or exposure to ultraviolet light. These include excessive tanning, early signs of damage like wrinkles, and basal cell and squamous cell and malignant melanoma, which are 3 types of skin cancer. What we're looking at now is a little biopsy or a slice of tissue taken from badly sun-damaged skin caused by exposure to ultraviolet light. Now, the normal skin should look like this nice red fibrous tissue down in here, and what happens is the ultraviolet light damages the elastic tissue in that and turns it to this kind of gray-purple appearance, wrinkles that we see in our skin. Sunburn is caused by ultraviolet light, and it's actual cell damage and cell death caused by the ultraviolet light's damage to the cell nucleus and the genetic material within that nucleus. The ultraviolet light damages not only the cells and causes them to develop skin cancers at an increased rate, but it also damages the body's immune system, which is responsible for detecting and destroying these skin cancers before they get started growing. Our exposure to ultraviolet light is it's cumulative, and the body doesn't forget an intense exposure. So every time you get sunburned, every time you peel or you turn red, the body remembers that, and that it gets you closer and closer to the maximum amount of ultraviolet light exposure you can have before you will begin to develop skin cancer.
What about those suntan myths?
A good tan makes me look healthy.
Tan skin doesn't indicate good health. The body tans in response to ultraviolet damage. So tanning is the body's attempt to protect itself from ultraviolet light.
Tanning boosts are great for a year-round tan.
Tanning boosts are not a safe way to get a tan. The trouble with tanning boosts is that they give you a highly intense exposure to ultraviolet light. There is no safe way to get a tan.
Working outside every day means UV is constantly beating down on you. Even on hot days, you may see construction workers wearing long-sleeve shirts and pants. Hats protect their bodies too.
So how do you protect yourself?
Reach for the SPF.
Here's a Tacklebox brain teaser for you. The sun protection factor is figured on a 1 in 15 ratio.
For instance, SPF 15 means you'll receive 1 minute of burning UV rays every 15 minutes.
A 30 SPF will expose you to a minute of burning rays every 30 minutes, or 97% protection, and so on.
Experts recommend you use at least a 15 SPF.
So how many minutes will 15 SPF protect you in an 8-hour period? A, 32 minutes, B, 448 minutes, or C, 120 minutes?
Give you a hint. One way to find out is to first figure out how many minutes there are in 8 hours.
It's important to remember to follow the manufacturer's instructions. Put it on 30 minutes before you go outside and reapply the lotion often. Perspiration or water can dilute your protection or even wash it off. Some people need even stronger protection on their noses and lips. You can see people using zinc oxide for that in summer and in winter.
And the answer to your Tacklebox brain teaser is B, 448 minutes. It's a toughie. For every 15 minutes in each hour, you're getting 1 minute of exposure, so you're being protected the rest of the time. Or 56 minutes every hour. Multiply that by 8 hours, and voila!
And put this in your Tacklebox. The peak hours for UV dangers are between the hours of 10 a.m. and 4 p.m. Keep your eye on the clock and don't overdo it.
We're taking cues from construction workers. Yeah, hat, long sleeve shirt, and long pants. Not bad.
I wear my baseball cap to keep the sun off my nose, but it doesn't cover my ears, so sometimes they get sunburned.
Don't assume sunglasses protect you from ultraviolet unless they say UV on the label.
Sunglasses must filter out 95% UVA and 99% UVB to meet FDA UV labeling guidelines. Holy mackerel!
Excuse me, but I'm wearing UV-safe glasses. It's important to do so during long periods of reflected light, like light bouncing off the desert sand,
Off the water.
Or bright white snow.
If you don't protect your eyes, your body will try to. Anything from cataracts clouding up the lens of your eye to damage in the retina at the back of the eye, which can cause a slow loss of your vision. So, protecting your eyes is extremely important. And don't forget, some people or things depend on you to protect them, especially young children who are more sensitive to UV's harmful effects. You're a better babysitter if you'll remember to find the shade.
And don't forget pets. This is Petey the box turtle. Now he has built-in shade from UV with his shell. But did you know a pet turtle needs UV? Ask your local pet store about multi-spectral lights that provide UV. Petey has these pointers for our Enviro-Tacklebox. Ultraviolet is part of the electromagnetic spectrum. Photo damage occurs when we are overexposed to UV. UV can harm you even when the skies are overcast. Pack a lotion with at least a 15 SPF. Hats, sunglasses, pants, and long sleeve shirts all protect you. But also remember, UV can spark your body's vitamin D production. Hey, think I better bring a long sleeve shirt for some added protection at the beach. By the way, you can check UV forecast just like weather forecast on the internet and some TV newscast. It always helps to be in the know. Well, now you're ready. That's you and me and UV. Gotta go. That's all for now.
So how do you damage yourself from So how do you protect yourself from photo damage? We're not talking about damage to a photograph. Photo damage refers...
Hi, I'm Greg Grandy. Hi, I'm Greg Grandy. Hi, I'm Greg Grandy, and you caught me packing the Enviro-Tacklebox. Hi, I'm Greg Grandy. Hi, I'm Greg Grandy. Can you deal with that?